Hi, and welcome to 647, 6 stories for 7 a.m. because, well, there's a famine of truth in our land. And this is your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. All right, no tapas. No tapas. We got to have a reward system here. You're not do it. Take one. Florida's Operation Home for the Holidays. 122. That's 122 missing children saved. Operation Home for the Holidays has resulted in the recovery of 122 missing children. Florida's Attorney General James Utmeyer announced this week. Utmeyer described the operation, which involved the FBI, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and nearly a dozen sheriff's offices, as one of the largest child recovery operations in American history, and included the Tampa Bay area, where 57 children were rescued, as well as Orlando, Jacksonville, Fort Myers, and 9 other states, according to reports. 22 children were rescued in Jacksonville, 14 in Orlando, and 29 in Fort Myers. All right. Thanks to one of the single largest child rescue operations in U.S. history, 122 missing children are safe, Utmeyer announced. This operation highlights the strength and diligence of Florida's law enforcement. I am deeply grateful for everyone that made Operation Home for the Holidays a massive success. The age of the missing children ranged from as young as 23 months to 17 years old. Per the press release, the operation resulted in 6 felony arrests, with additional charges expected as investigations continue. It added that the children recovered experienced various levels of abuse, neglect, exploitation, or exposure to other criminal activity. I'll conclude, this is Utmeyer, before turning it over by saying, by now, you should know, if you come into Florida and you want to lay a finger on our kids, if you want to prey upon them, if you want to groom them, if you want to abuse them, everybody up here is coming for you, and with everything we've got. And let's see what that actually means. We're going to lock you up for as long as possible. And note this, we're eligible for child sex battery, right? We will indeed seek the death penalty. So you do child sex battery, you get the death penalty in Florida. So child predators, stay out of Florida. You are not welcome here. If you come here, we will hold you accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Death penalty for that, we've all been waiting for decades for it. You know, it was all these people protecting their pedophile friends and their sick recreation. Take 2. Oh, Donnie boy, the pipes are calling. You know what? I love Trump, but I'm all over him right now because he is tone deaf. He is absolutely straight up ballroom tone deaf. Okay? Instagram promoted new AI creation tool with video of Trump kneeling before Satanic demon. Yeah, I'm not making that up. There's a full-on picture of it. Trump's on his knees in front of this image of Satan with the 2 horns and totally cowed by Satan. How does this happen, you ask? It's called the reprobate mind. It's called Marky Spectrum Zuckerberg and his company. A Meta spokesman told the Daily Wire the image was user-generated, but did not explain how it wound up in the promotion. Right, every major company, they just somehow, no one saw what the image was for their major promotion of an AI product. Zuckerberg and his demonic minions need to go. $400 million to steal the 2020, and he is so afraid of justice that he does this crap. Okay, this is what Trump doesn't get. Okay, This spectrum freak makes fun of you, makes fun of Christians, and instead of getting a perp walk with him in chains, we get ballroom speak. Ballroom speak. Oh, Donnie boy, you better get with the program. What else is here? A Meta spokesman told the Daily Wire that the video in question was user-generated content that has been removed from this recommendation service as it violated our protocols for promotions. Right, but it got chosen for their ad campaign. Do you realize who's running that operation? I do. I've been penalized by them and ostracized left and right. Okay? I know who these people are. Okay? But apparently Donald Trump doesn't, because he invites them to the White House. He invites them to his inauguration. He sits around with them, and they all act buddy-buddy. And guess what? That doesn't play well out here on Main Street. Okay, we all know that's what's going on. And when he does and puts out an image like this that makes fun of you, Donnie boy, and makes fun of us and our belief system, we want blood from this bastard. And instead, he gets invited to swanky meetings at the White House. It's all wrong. It's all wrong, and you're going to lose your base if you don't get with the program. Take 3, lack of adequate health care pushing Canadians toward assisted suicide. Okay? This is what the original Obamacare crew had in mind for us, right? If you got to a certain age, we weren't going to spend money and time on you. We were going to check you out. That's what they're doing in Canada, only the government's not pushing it. The people are saying, I can't stand this healthcare thing. Please. Give me assisted suicide. Can you imagine that? That is the magic of democratic socialism, which the legacy media keeps telling us. Oh, he's just a democratic socialist. It's harmless. It's not harmless. It always ends in death. Okay? Socialism ends in death. I don't care what your commie professors tell you. The family of Cleo Grattan, an 84-year-old retired diamond driller who died earlier this month in Chelmsford, Ontario, of natural causes after being approved for assisted suicide. Oh, yay, is speaking publicly about their appalling experience in the Canadian healthcare system. According to the CBC, the elderly man told his family he would rather die than go back to Health Sciences North in Sudbury, and that a recent stay there found Grattan, who was suffering from heart disease and kidney failure, spending one night in the emergency room and then being transferred to a bed sitting in the hallway on the 7th floor. I've been there, 12 hours in the hallway, 12 hours. There were no lights. All the bulbs in that hallway had been completely removed, his daughter Lynn told the CBC. The only light we had was almost like a desk lamp that had been bolted to the wall. Patients are passing by, nurses are going by, no privacy, no compassion, no dignity. The visit took place in mid-October, after which Grattan decided to apply for medical aid in dying. An assisted suicide. Democratic socialism, folks. Get it while it's hot. Zorian will be serving it up. All right, take 4. Greg Abbott, the governor so far of Texas, total squish, designates Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR, C-A-I-R, as terrorist criminal organization, bans land ownership in Texas. Okay? So this is a bold move from Abbott. The rhinos must be trying to get him out. This is a bid for a MAGA vote, and it's missing any teeth in it. Texas Governor Greg Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and the Council of American Islamic Relations, CAIR, CAIR, just to throw it in your face, as foreign terrorist organizations and transnational criminal organizations on Tuesday. The designation will allow for heightened enforcement actions against the organization and its affiliates by authorities within the Lone Star State. In a Tuesday morning press release issued at the state capitol, Abbott offered the following comments regarding the designation, saying, "The Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR have long made their goals clear to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world. The actions taken by the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR to support terrorism across the globe and subvert our laws through violence, intimidation, and harassment are unacceptable." All of a sudden, they're unacceptable at election time. It's unacceptable. Wow, Greg, huge catharsis from you. Great job. The designation will prohibit both organizations and their affiliates from purchasing or acquiring land in Texas. Abbott emphasized the consequences of the designation, adding, "These radical extremists are not welcome in our state and are now prohibited from acquiring any real property interest in Texas when there's an election going on," right? Do you get this? Did you notice that the squish did not say one word about Epic City? Epic City. You don't hear about it on the legacy media. I've mentioned it several times, but I know you've forgotten because you're busy and Thanksgiving's coming up. But you need to remember about Epic City. It's a 402-acre Muslim town near Josephine, Texas, outside Houston, to be ruled by Sharia law. And notice, Greg didn't say one word about it. You may not own real estate. Really? There's a whole town going through planning commission, right? 402 acres. You can't own any real estate in Greg Abbott's Texas. Yeah, unless you got in under the wire, apparently, and paid off a whole lot of politicians. Well, Greg, if he's serious, then he should roll over the project and flatten it. But he won't, okay? Because this is all a play and you can't handle the truth. So there's the truth. Nobody in Texas has the stones to totally flatten Epic City. So let's bring it on. Let's make the whole country Dearborn, Michigan. Allahu Akbar, right? Right? Get used to it. You can speak Chinese or you can speak Arabic, but forget about America, right? Because no politician will stand up and fight for it. But we're getting a ballroom. Oh, I'm so happy about the ballroom. It's going to be magical. It's going to be the best, the biggest ballroom ever, the best. So sick of this ballroom. And I'm so sick of hearing about, oh my God, the economy's just on fire. It's on fire, right? Well, here's a story. Take 5. Home Depot cuts full year outlook as expected consumer spending surge fails to materialize. Wow, how can that be in an economy that's on fire? And how about the ballroom? Home Depot sharply reduced its earnings guidance for fiscal 2025 on Tuesday, citing disappointing demand in the third quarter and broader slowdown in consumer spending on home improvement that the company had anticipated would accelerate heading into the fall and winter months. Yeah, you know what? This is Oh Donnie Boy again, okay? These are the pipers that are calling, oh Donnie Boy. That's right. You ain't paying attention, dude. Donnie and Jerome can't figure this out, right? Jerome could have put the interest rate at 5.5 and none of this would be happening, okay? And DJT, he needs to be focusing on consumer pain. He's totally missing it. He's looking like a fool. He's losing his base because he keeps talking all this big, mega, MAGA talk. And they're walking away from him. And for good reason. How much is broccoli, Donnie? You and George Herbert Walker Bush, man. You'll be walking into the future together. Your base is hurting. They don't want $2,000 checks. They want perp walks, okay? To make sure you're not an Israeli puppet. Show them. And they'll gain confidence. And they'll start buying. Let's look at some of the Piper information. The world's largest home improvement retailer now expects adjusted earnings per share to decline 5% in an on-fire economy from the prior year, down from its previous forecast of a 2% decline. The company also lowered its full-year comparable sales guidance to slightly positive from its prior forecast of 1% growth. We need a ballroom index. The ballroom index will be spiking. While underlying demand in the business remained relatively stable sequentially, an expected increase in demand in the third quarter did not materialize. CEO Ted Decker, what a bunch of corporate speak. We believe that consumer uncertainty. Do you know anything about this? Consumer uncertainty? Yeah, we all do. And continued pressure in housing are disproportionately impacting home improvement demand, right? This is the result of ballroom BS. This is the result of that punk Jerome not being taken to task and doing what he should be doing. And instead, in your face, right? Zuckerberg's in your face with you kneeling and cowering in front of Satan, right? And here, Jerome, he's supposed to lower the rate again, 1/4 of a point. Wow, what a risk taker, right? And now he's decided, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Because I'm on the way out. You can't touch me. All of the libs that want me to destroy the economy, they're promising me what? A professorship or some big money no-show job. That's how this whole thing works. Consumer uncertainty and continued pressure in the housing market. Home Depot's third quarter comparable sales grew just 0.2%, missing analysts' expectations of 1.36%. The company attributed some weakness to an unseasonably mild fall. Let's talk about that, right? They have this hurricane factor that's a part of their earnings each year. So again, you can't handle the truth, right? NOAA, the National Weather Service, total lefty group, total climate change group. Okay, what was their big prediction at the beginning of the year? Above normal hurricane season. Be very afraid. Stay anxious. 13 to 19 named storms, 16 to 10 hurricanes, 3 to 5 killer hurricanes. Right, none of it happened. One bad one in Jamaica. None of it happened. It's all political. I started my generator once and I ran it for 10 minutes. Donnie Boy says the economy's on fire. And rates, right? Interest rates. All we had to do is drop them. All we had to get, I don't care if it's a 30-year or a 50-year, if it was 5.5%, people would be buying property and they'd be bidding on it and the prices would come down and more people would be selling. You watch this massive exodus from New York City. It's all going to happen that way. All right. Take 6. Ex-Harvard president Clinton. I'm not going to read that part. This is about Larry Summers. It's our ARMS study, right? Advanced Reprobate Mind Study. This guy's a total reprobate, rewarded by the reprobates for his entire working life. He's a dirtbag and a scumbag. Raised the former Harvard president, Larry Summers, who also served as Treasury Secretary under President Bill Clinton. The best people, is stepping away from public life. Catch that phrase. That's a teachable moment for you. He's stepping away from public life. Don't you wish you could do that? He's stepping away from public life. Emails revealed a long-term relationship with convicted sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein. It's all being laundered already. There's all kinds of stuff and all kinds of rotten stuff he did with that sick bastard. All right? Larry the Lech is stepping away from public life, right? You would have had to blow him out of Harvard with dynamite. Now, while the relationship between Summers and Epstein had already been publicized, emails released last week showed it went beyond the professional. There's another good turn of phrase. It went beyond the professional, right? He's a dirtbag molesting minor girls. No, we can't say that. That's the truth, and you can't handle the truth. And Larry can't step away from public life if everybody finds out the truth. How stupid are we supposed to be? Trump, pay attention, all right? This guy's an enemy of yours. Take him down. Make it public. Perp walk him. Build up some confidence on Main Street. Main Street just thinks you're clueless now. Like Diddy, he's stepping away from public life. Did tons of rotten stuff, worse than Epstein, but he knows powerful people. And when you know powerful people, you don't get punished. You step away from public life. Nancy, right? Cheated in the stock market. That's the least of what she did, and that's abhorrent. And she's stepping away from public life, but her daughter's going to run for her seat. Yeah. So I'm sure she won't have any controlling effect on that. Like Big Jim Too Tall Comey, he's stepping away. There's lefty judges trying to claim that he's not being treated fairly, right? And Adam Schiff, he's a boy molester, and he's maybe stepping away from public life. While the relationship between Summers and Epstein had already been publicized, emails released last week showed it went beyond professional, per the New York Times, a real truth-telling rag, leftist nonsense. Get your script every Sunday. Emails released last week showed a cozier relationship that included Dr. Summers, right? We get Dr. Summers now to back you off in case you think something really prurient's going on here. It's Dr. Summers seeking romantic advice and trading banter with Mr. Epstein over several years. Seeking professional advice and engaging in banter. Yeah. That's hard-cutting journalism from the New York Times. Can you handle the truth? This ain't the truth, okay? This is skirting the truth. The communications stretched to 2019, long after Mr. Epstein had pleaded guilty in 2008 to charges related to soliciting a minor for prostitution. In 2019, Epstein advised Summers on dealing with potential love interest while she courted another man, right? This guy's getting about. And do you think the New York Times mentions to you that Epstein's married to his second wife, or not Epstein, Summers is married to his second wife? I think her name's Elissa, for 20 years, right? Wife Elissa, guess what? She's a Harvard professor. Wouldn't you know? And she's the host of a Poetry in America TV show. She's making money hand over fist, right? Not breaking a sweat either. And guess what? If you wanted to find out about Elissa, guess where I had to go? The Hindustan Times. That's how far you got to go to get this information. But New York Times can't tell you that. He's not a scumbag, right? He was seeking professional advice and engaging in banter, right? Because he's stepping away from public life. Okay, this is a teachable moment, folks. When you get caught doing the rottenest stuff, just cop the attitude of the ballroom crowd, right? Just tell your attorney you're stepping away from public life. That's it. Easy enough. I'm not stepping away from public life. So that means that I need a working relationship with you. You have to like us. You have to share us. You have to make comments, and you have to push us out to your network, right? Because if we don't get the truth out there, if we don't solve the famine of truth, then leftists are going to come into power and they will escort me away from public life. I won't be stepping away. I won't be engaging in banter, right? I will be moved away from public life. But guess what? If that happens, it's all in the plan, because I know the man. I know a guy, okay? He knows the whole deal. He knows the beginning and the end of the whole deal. You think I'm going to worry about it? I'm not, okay? Thank you, dear God Jehovah, for being the omniscient Lord of the universe. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. Help these people get over the hump and get ready for the glide slope Thursday. Wednesday, you're going over the 50% mark. So, dear God, please bless these folks like you bless me. I'm so undeserving. They're way more deserving. Dear God, bless them. God bless you, folks. And thank you for being here today for another dose of the truth. Take care.